Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers Ian Cameron, Alex P. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Monday, January 12th. Ian Cameron. Alex is away today with an appointment, but he'll be back tomorrow. And Perlo with us, as he always is on Mondays, ready to break down the Monday NHL slate. A good slate for a change on Monday. I don't know what got into the NHL schedule makers, but not the usual 2, 3, or 4 games. No, not at all. We've got ourselves 9 games on the slate here for this Monday night, so we'll get to that, obviously, in just a moment. Before we get into tonight's games, we'll all, of course, look back on what we saw on Sunday. It began with the Winnipeg Jets. Wouldn't you believe it? They string 2 wins together after snapping that 11-game losing streak, albeit it was probably the right opponent to try to build some confidence against facing the New Jersey Devils, and the Winnipeg Jets were able to get the job done 4-3 over New Jersey in that game. Boston shutting out Pittsburgh 1-0. A Victor Arvidsson goal in the first period is all that was needed to stand up for a Boston victory last night. Give credit to Korpisalo for a 27-save shutout in the victory for the Boston Bruins as they beat Pittsburgh 1-0. Nashville taking down Washington 3-2. I didn't have a lot on the first 2 games. This was disappointing. I had the over, and I got to give our guy Onanen credit. I think that was one of the better games I've seen from him, certainly all season, holding the Caps to 2 goals. He faced 30 shots, turned aside 28 of them. That's absolutely not right up there with. He hasn't had many great performances this year. That certainly was one of them, though. So you got to just tip your cap. Great job by Justus Onanen. I'm not even going to call him useless after last night. He deserves a little more praise than that. But nice job by him. And the Nashville Predators getting a 3-2 victory there over the Washington Capitals. Power play really did damage for both teams. Both teams got a pair of power play goals. Only the goal scored in their third period by Cole Smith, the only even strength goal that we saw in that game, courtesy of the Nashville Predators. Columbus, what a job by them. I'll tell you what, that's a brutal spot. We talked about how Ottawa was rough in that spot, the back-to-back altitude spot in Utah one night and then in Colorado the next night, and Ottawa was drilled on the back-to-back against Colorado. Last night it was the reverse. Columbus was in Colorado Saturday, in Utah last night, but still back-to-back in the thin air and altitude is very difficult as it gets. Toronto is about to go through that here in the next 2 nights, but definitely when you look at it from a Columbus perspective, to come back and beat the Utah Mammoth 3-2 in overtime, solid job. And you know what? Nothing fluky, nothing fraudulent about that win for Columbus. They were the better hockey team last night. They outshot Utah 36-27 in that game. They were especially good in the first 2 periods. Maybe you could see a few signs of the back-to-back legs starting to peter out in the third period, because the third period was Utah's best period. But still, Columbus finding a way to win in that kind of spot, very impressive. And Dmitry Voronkov with the power play marker in overtime to give Columbus that 3-2 win. In that one, we had the over 1.5 in that one. A little piece of the draw as well. Actually over by Fecta and a little piece of the draw. We lost the over with Washington, Nashville, but we did hit. This is the game that pulled me through last night. Vegas, San Jose. I mean, it was a no-brainer. It was a dual best bet. Both Alex and I used Vegas, San Jose over 6.5 as a best bet. And it won very easily, and Vegas putting up a 7 spot, beating San Jose 7-2 last night. I did take some small shots on San Jose money line and team total over, but you could tell they were, that was such a great comeback on Saturday, the day before against Dallas, down 4-2, coming back to beating them 5-4. It looked like they were just lacking a little pop. They were lacking a little bit of finish last night, the San Jose Sharks. But Vegas controlled the flow, 33-20. They outshot the San Jose in every period of that game. So really nice road win. Jack Eichel popped off last night. He had a big game for the Golden Knights, 2 goals for them in the victory for Vegas, and they get a commanding 7-2 win. And like I said, best bet winners for both Alex and I, on that over. And what an overrun it continues to be for San Jose. 12-0-1 to the over in the last 13 games for the San Jose Sharks. Them and Anaheim, they're two peas in a pod right now. It's mechanical overs with those two teams until proven otherwise. That's where I stand with both of them right now. Perlo, your thoughts on Sunday's action?
Yeah, last time I was on, I said I had the best day I ever had this year, and all, and not yesterday. Yesterday was not my best day. I had
if I had only hammered the one bet I truly loved yesterday, it would have been a great day. Typical high volume Ian had to bet a little of this, a little of that, and a lot of those bets didn't pan out. But if I had just stuck to one, which is the true best bet on the board, and I said it yesterday, Vegas San Jose over, it would have been a great day. It was a so-so.
I had the over in that game too. I was with you guys. That was my best bet, no doubt about that. I was glad to hit that, but I also had the Sharks team total over, and that didn't come in. Going to the Blue Jackets Mammoth game, that is a really bad loss for the Mammoth. Now, when I was doing my show the night before that game, my gut was on the Blue Jackets, and I was convince me not to take the Blue Jackets here. And then they, the scheduling spot and everything, and I was like, that can't. So I switched it, took the Mammoth, and of course the Blue Jackets do happen to win there. But in that spot, there's been a couple spots like this where I like to watch what a team's going to do after, because this was a character loss for Utah. So last time I said this was when Detroit lost to Boston, what was a diabolically bad scheduling spot for Boston, and they came out flat. And ever since then, they've been excellent, right? Detroit has played really well since then. I wonder what's going to happen here with Utah, because this is one where the coach should be peeling off the walls at the end of this game. You cannot get outshot by this team in that spot. And I think they know it. And I think the coach knows it. So we'll see if how they react to a loss like that. I had team total under, or no goals first five, and under 6.5 in the Devils Jets game. So that didn't come in. All these Sunday day games, right? Got to take the under. The one that I do, it goes over on. But I did have a little piece of the Jets. I just fading New Jersey right now. Just fading them. And I had Capitals team total over. I had Capitals in regulation, Capitals everything. I thought that was a great spot for the Capitals with Ahonen in net. And like you said, we got to start watching Ahonen now. I mean, they traded him for a big guy in Askarov, and they really have said they've been behind him and believed in him all the way through here. And now he's starting to put up some starts. So probably won't want to be fading games that Ahonen is for a little while, because that was an excellent performance by them. And then it was kind of silly for me to have that much on it, because Capitals are known to be bad day game teams. And I let that go out of my head, and I went crazy on them, but they didn't get it. But great win for the Golden Knights at home. They've been kind of trying to get their mojo going against the Sharks, and they played extremely well. It wasn't just the Sharks not coming out or anything like that. The Golden Knights played really well in that game. So that's going to be good to see for us, who I believe both of us have the Golden Knights to win the Cup futures, right?
We do indeed. And that was my Stanley Cup final pick out of the West. Vegas, Carolina. It was my Stanley Cup final call on the preview show before the season. So like I said, I'm not panicking about either one. Vegas is actually starting to show signs of righting the ship. It was a really, really rough stretch for them, but they're starting to show signs of getting it going. And Carolina too. Like, once Carolina has Slavin gets a few more games under his belt, let's hope he stays healthy now, because now that's a couple of injury stints he's had. But, he gets more comfortable. He'll be fine, and he makes that blue line so much better. Bussy's already been great. I do want to see Carolina go after a goaltender, and upgrade at that spot. We'll see if they do with Eric Tulsky before the trade deadline. But like I said, definitely, I'm not panicking. Like, there's been some bumps in the road. There's been some peaks and valleys for both the Golden Knights and the Canes so far this year, but I'm not panicking about either one right now as far as where they're at or their chances to be in the Stanley Cup final right now. Still a long way to go. Great. Yeah, the Sunday under run, there's Jonathan in our chat, was 3-1 for the games yesterday, 42, 15, and 2 on the season to the under. Games on Sunday before 8 p.m. Eastern. 42 unders, 15 overs, 2 pushes on Sundays this season in the NHL. That's a pretty crazy stat.
Got to start betting that more. My gosh. The one that I do bet doesn't come in.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
You know what? I think it's a product of a lot of back-to-backs for teams coming off Saturday night, the big hockey night of the week. Maybe teams are just a little flat, sluggish, and dragging ass a little bit. Maybe that's a reason for it, no question. And yes, how about Vegas against San Jose? I think it's now 11 or 12 straight times that Vegas has beaten San Jose, and overall it's 31, 2, and 5 overall for Vegas against San Jose. So definitely 31 wins, 2 regulation losses, 5 either overtime or shootout losses. So no question, it has been dominance for the for the Vegas Golden Knights over the San Jose Sharks. All right, let's get into Monday's action. A bigger card for Perlo on a Monday than we normally have. So yeah, let's get into it. Tampa Bay, Philadelphia rematch. Same 2 teams in the same building as Saturday night. Lightning -145 road favorite, 6 the total. I love the over a Saturday night because of that Philadelphia system that I've talked about. Off a loss where they've scored 1 goal or less. And now after that game Saturday, which flew over the total, mostly thanks to Tampa Bay putting up 7. But after that, Philadelphia is 9-1 to the over this season in games after scoring 1 or less in their previous game. It's been automatic. I'm betting that every time I see it now. It's been that strong for Tocchet and the Flyers. 1 goal or less, the next game goes over. And we saw that, obviously. Now, this one almost made the system again, but Philly did score a second goal in the third period to make it 7-2. So the system's not in play here, and I don't like the over nearly as much tonight in this rematch, just because after getting blasted 7-2, although once again, the most obvious thing we've said all year showed up again. Ersson can't hold, Vladar's jock right now from a goaltending standpoint for the Philadelphia Flyers, and that's a big difference maker. And obviously Vladar, we should see him here tonight in this one in the rematch, and it is Vladar. Now, it will be Jonas Johansson. No surprise that John Cooper's divvying up the goaltenders here. After Vasi got the start Saturday, it'll be Jonas Johansson in net here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Johansson has been a tale of 2 seasons. I thought early in the season, this guy was playing really, really good, better than I expected, better than we usually see. But it's kind of come back down to earth for him a little bit since mid-December. Against New Jersey, he gave up 4 goals December 11th. He gave up 2 against the Islanders. Pretty good performance, but he only faced 17 shots in that game. Then he gives up 5 to Florida on December 15th. He gives up 4 to Montreal, who come back and almost win that game December 28th. And then he gave up 3 goals to the Los Angeles Kings on New Year's Day on just 20 shots. So he hasn't been nearly as strong here for the Tampa Bay Lightning going into this start. I'm dabbling in this over again, but I don't like it nearly as much. I am going to sprinkle here, but a little bold. There's a couple bold underdog opinions that I have on this card here tonight. This is one of them. It's a quick turnaround revenge spot. Tampa just put the friggin' boots to the Flyers. Now, Tocchet was off a loss going into that game, but again, he had Ersson in net. He had a Tampa team that had Vasilevsky in net. Tampa Bay feeling good. Now you got Philly off 2 straight losses, and it's been a while since Philly's lost 3 or more games in a row. And now the goaltending battle tilts to Philly in this game, where I'll take my chances. I like Vladar more than I like Johansson's current form at this point in time. So I'm going to sprinkle on Philly here, plus 125, split with team total for the Philadelphia Flyers here as well, over the 2.5 at around minus 135 in this game. I think we get a response from the Flyers. I know it's a red-hot, scorching Tampa Bay team playing with just tremendous confidence right now, scoring goals left and right. As I mentioned Saturday, during this win streak, the win streak is now at 9 games, and this Tampa Bay team has scored 4+ goals in all 9 of those victories. But I like this spot for Philly rather, and I do think they're live in this game, and I'll take my chances as a home dog. Perlo, what do you think here? Tampa Bay, Philadelphia.
Got it last night at plus 130. I think it's a great spot, especially with Tampa Bay having to play Pittsburgh the next night. And Philly's going to come out. I think Philly's going to play extremely hard on the stick here and want to turn this into a battle. I don't think Tampa Bay wants that type of game. So Tampa Bay is probably going to try to play their strong perimeter passing game against Philadelphia. I think they might have a tough time scoring doing that here in this game. I'm almost thinking about taking Tampa team total under here, to tell you the honest truth. I haven't put anything on it yet, but it is something I'm considering. Vladar, I don't think he's allowed more than 2 goals in quite some time, and if he has, it's been not very often. So, but
I just went back and checked, Perlo, 4-goal loss or more. So when the Flyers have lost by 4 goals or more this year, it's happened 3 previous times. They're 3-0 in the next game.
There we go. Even more so. Yeah, I just like the spot. It's a spot play. Plus 130. I think it's a bad spot for Tampa. I could see Tampa Bay not really wanting to go to war here, and Philadelphia wanting to go to war a lot. So my biggest bet is going to be the Philadelphia. And I too took a little bit on the over here. So I should, and I didn't have it here before, but I think I'll tail that Flyers team total over with you as well on this one.
Yeah, I like the Flyer looks more. I have more money on the Flyers money line team total over split than I do the full game over tonight. The only the reason I bet it again is just because of what we've seen in Philadelphia, where it's been 6-3, 6-2, 4-3, and then of course 7-2 the other night. It's been 4 straight overs in this building. And at every recent meeting in Tampa, for the most, well, not every, but the last couple in Tampa Bay between these two teams have actually gone under. So it's kind of been unders in Tampa, overs in this building. Between these two teams. So like I said, but I think it's a good spot for the Flyers. I like backing them. And again, that you can't overlook what I just mentioned about Flyers off a blowout loss or a loss by margin this season, how good they've been bouncing back. 3 previous times they've lost by 3 goals or more. Saturday 7-2 was the 4th time they've lost by 4 goals or more this year. And again, the previous 3 times they've been off a loss, losing by 4 goals or more, they're 3-0. They've bounced back with a win each time. We'll see if that happens once again here tonight in this game. Prop-wise here for Philadelphia and Tampa Bay, I'd say that even though I like Philly in this game, you can't ignore up on the top line lately what Gage Gonzalez has done for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's certainly been productive. He's taken advantage of the opportunity there up on that top line. So that's probably a prop that's worth coming back to. I know I mentioned it on Saturday. But he's certainly been noticeable up there for the Lightning. Hagel scored in 3 straight games. Nick Paul did score in the last game as well, getting him rolling a little bit for the Tampa Bay Lightning. As far as Philadelphia is concerned in this game, coming off the loss, you'd expect, some of their forwards to be probably a little bit more assertive, aggressive here in this rematch here tonight after getting pummeled by this same team on Saturday. It looks like tonight we've got Mishkov, Dvorak, Zegras, Barkey, Couturier, Tippett. Pretty much status quo here is your top 6. It's probably one of these nights here where, it was pretty quiet the other night as the game got away, but does Zegras maybe get back on track? Kucherov, as Jonathan alludes to, rolling. So definitely those are a couple props that caught my eye there with this game. All right, Carolina, Detroit. Carolina minus 145, road favorite, 6 the total. Not a whole lot here. As the moment, I have no bet on this game, side or total. Prop-wise, I'll mention a couple in a moment, but side or total, not a whole lot to go with here until I know who's in net for Carolina. It's John Gibson, who is just rolling right now. He is one of the best goalies in the NHL, statistics-wise, and even advanced metrics-wise, Gibson, since December 1st. It's like been a totally different goaltender here for Detroit, and he is coming off a great shutout win over Montreal on Saturday night in that battle for first in the Atlantic Division. Again, we'll wait and see who's going to be in between the pipes here for the Carolina Hurricane. Is it Anderson confirmed? Yeah, it is. Wow. Yeah, it is. I was waiting on that. I know RotoWire hadn't made that, hadn't had that showed who's the confirmation yet, but I see Daily Faceoff does have it, Freddie Anderson. So I'm tempted by Detroit now. I'll tell you that right now. Tempted by it. The moment I see that guy's name, I'm tempted to look, especially when I'm talking about a home dog in Detroit playing like they are. plus 120. Maybe I probably will maybe get involved in that a little bit. Now, I will say he was better the last time we saw him against Anaheim, but my gosh, you talk about going overboard to protect a goaltender struggling with his confidence. Don't think for a second, because I sure don't, that was a turnaround game for Freddie Andersen against Anaheim, his old team last week. Let me remind you guys that even though he got the win 5-2 over the Ducks, first of all, the Ducks are struggling right now, and they've been struggling for a while. That's number one. Number two, do you know how many shots he faced in that game? 13 shots on goal. 13. So that is a team that knows they are petrified of a guy that is giving up goals left and right this year, has struggled with his confidence. They insulated him like crazy in that game against Anaheim, kept everything to the outside, made sure that most of the shots coming his way he could handle. Again, we're talking 13 shots, 13. That's all he faced. I am not sold that Freddie's back because of that win. I got to see way more before I'm sold that Frederik Andersen's turning his game around. That's the bottom line. What do you think here in this one, Perlo? Carolina, Detroit.
Well, I'm glad Andersen's in because I took Detroit Red Wings last night at plus 130. I just think it's kind of a pick'em, depending on who the goaltender was going to be. They're both playing pretty good form. And I've been rolling with Detroit. I had Detroit to make the playoffs at plus 220, and it's looking like it's heading that direction. So I also am going to look at Gibson over saves if I can get a decent number on it. And I haven't looked yet what it's going to be, but if it's like 24.5, I do think Carolina is going to shoot a lot. And Rico and I's crazy future of Gibson to win the Vezina is still alive. Plus 50,000. It was a crazy bet, but hey, he's playing really well, man. He's playing absolutely fantastic, and good for him coming out of Anaheim. He had a rough career there so far with some of those Anaheim teams, and now he's feeling it, and it's good to see.
It is good to see. Oh my gosh, is that really the price with the team total for Detroit at Pinnacle? I love Pinnacle, man. Reduced juice, God bless it. Reduced juice at that book. Constantly giving me better prices. It is at only a minus 128 at Pinnacle for that Detroit team total over 2.5.
Wow. I might take a look at that.
At that price, absolutely. That price is better than every other book by at least 20 cents, 25, 30 cents in some cases, with that over 2.5 minus 128 team total for Detroit at Pinnacle. What a price. What a price. Yeah, I'm taking that right now. Bam. Locked in. All right, let Logan Stankoven placing live bets here on the Ice Guys show. All right, as far as props go, we've got Logan Stankoven, 4 straight games. How do we not ride the train? Still getting bargain bin worthy prices on Logan Stankoven as well for Carolina, plus 380 here in this game. Lucas Raymond, a little kick in the pants recently from Todd McClellan, and boy, he's starting to heat up, and we know how streaky he can be. Plus 290 for him to score. 3 straight games with a goal for Lucas Raymond going into this game here tonight for Detroit. That might be worth a look here. Also, what else piqued my interest here as far as goal props? Blake for Carolina. For Detroit, Casper and Finney. I'm stubborn because these guys don't always aren't always the guys that score. And look, they're starting to get Raymond going, JVR. He might be better off sticking with that Raymond JVR Comfort line because that line's been very good lately for Detroit. But still, you got Finney and Casper, the friendly betting ghost, both with Larkin. You would think at some point those guys got to get on the board playing with the captain. So hopefully tonight's the night. But, I don't want to be not betting them on the night they finally do score. So I will probably dabble in both of them, Finney and Casper. All right, next up, Florida, Buffalo. Buffalo minus 120, home favorite, 6 the total. Here in this game. Certainly not fading the Sabres, but, let's see if they can handle this Florida team. Although the Florida team is once again battling so much right now. It's been a lengthy road trip. They did survive Ottawa. I wouldn't say they were convincing against Ottawa the other night. Like, the way they played against Ottawa, and I'll take it because we had the Panthers in that game, just fading Ottawa with the issues they're having off the ice with the goaltending problems. I just said we got to take Florida here, especially when they hadn't won a game on the road trip up to that point. They lost to Toronto and Montreal before that. But that was not a convincing performance by the Florida Panthers. Not the kind of performance that says, yeah, they're going to roll into Buffalo and beat a 13-1 Buffalo team in their last 14 games. And don't look now, but Buffalo beat them earlier this year in Buffalo. It was 3-0 shutout early in the season. And now it's a better Buffalo team. So it would be Sabres or pass for me. I'm going to pass, though. Do I really want to lay a price against Florida? Not really. But like I said, I certainly wouldn't step in front of the Sabres at this point in time. I think I like the over, but I'm going to see if I could see this starting slow. Buffalo games have started slow lately, in the last few. And remember the Anaheim-Buffalo game, there was only that one goal for a long time until the goals started to flow in. So I feel I can get a 5.5 live at some point during this game. So that's what I'm going to wait for with the over. But like I said, sidewise, I'm not involved in this game, but I would lean Sabres. I'm not going against them at the moment. I continue to see positive signs, Perlo. I do. I see commitment to defense. I see they're possessing the puck more. They're controlling the flow more. I mean, they've outshot teams heavily in some of these recent wins. Like, they're controlling the game. They're controlling the flow. They have the puck, their opponents don't. And they're getting saves. You know, whether it's UPL, especially UPL at home, who's been great, whether it's Colton Ellis, who's going to get the start tonight. I thought he was very good against the Rangers last week at Madison Square Garden. He played very well in that game. They're feeling it right now. There's no reason for me at least, to fade Buffalo. Playing the way they are, laying only a price like this. Perlo, what do you think? Panthers, Sabres.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about it quite a bit. If the Sabres players could ever get that rough system down, that they were going to be good. That Ruff is a great coach, and he's been gotten a lot of crap, but his system is very difficult.
Devils fans are starting to miss him, believe it or not, right now.
Yeah, exactly. His system is very difficult to play, though. So it takes a lot. When you're doing man-on-man in the D zone, the way he wants it to be done, it takes a while to get as a unit to know where everybody is all the time, what to do in certain situations and all that kind of stuff like that. And they seem to be hitting it right now. They seem to be getting it. The other thing you can't have is too much player movement, because you got to keep, and the good thing with Buffalo is people want to leave, but nobody wants to come in. So they may not get too much player movement if they keep on playing like this. And I like Buffalo here. I think Buffalo, I mean, they've got every reason to beat. This is a measuring stick, although you could say all the other games were too, but this one even more so. You're doing really well, but now you got the champions coming into your own bar. So I think they're going to be playing balls out in this game. I think they're going to play about as perfect game as you can imagine. I'm taking Buffalo here. I got them at a little better price than this at -115. So, yeah, I'm going to give him a shot. I'm going to give him one more shot at -115. I'm thinking about maybe the team total over 3, but I think I'm just going to go with Buffalo for the game, and that's it. I'm just going to leave it at that. The over, I could definitely see an over here as well, but we'll see. Like you said, the in-game sounds something. See how fast the pace goes, how much is Buffalo going to be on them. I think if Buffalo gets up early, this could end up not going over. I think it could end up going under. So if it's tight to begin with, yeah, maybe I'll go over 5.5 or something like
that. Good question. Pinnacle is based out of Curacao. That would be your answer. Curacao, a small little Caribbean island, believe it or not. That's where the headquarters are, Pinnacle Sports.
Is that right? I did not know that.
Yep. Yep. Good vacation spot. From what I've heard, that is for sure. But there you go. As far as props go for this particular game, Florida-Buffalo, let me see here. I mean, Josh Norris is a man possessed right now. I love Josh Doan, I should say. Josh Norris is playing well too, don't get me wrong, but Josh Doan has been just terrific. I mean, Josh Doan certainly, like I said, his props are always worth a shot. Don't be scared to dabble in the defensemen, whether it's Bo Byram and Dahlin for Buffalo too. They've been getting up in the play a little bit. Jack Quinn is streaky. He scored last game, and I know with him, sometimes the goals happen in bunches. So maybe this could be a Jack Quinn look type of night here for the Buffalo Sabres. I always say Lundell for the Florida Panthers, worth a shot there. By the way, first NHL game the other night for Sandis Vilmanis, the Latvian kid, who just entered the lineup here for the Florida Panthers. So again, testing their depth now with Brad Marchand still out. Kachuk's not quite ready to return, although he's close to being back. Barkov no time soon, of course, and Kulikov and Jones still out on the blue line for this team. So they've had to roll with Balinskis, Donovan, Sabrango, Jeff Petrie. You know what I'm gonna start calling Donovan Sabrango? His nickname should be Dodge Sabrango. Reminds me of that Dodge Durango, make that make of car was a long time ago. I always think of the Dodge Durango when I hear that guy's name.
You mentioned Quinn.
Dodge.
I forgot to mention over 1.5 shots for Quinn. He's been flying over that total. You get him minus 130. It's a great price.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the games I'll be spotlighting tonight on the screens in front of me. This game is definitely, like I said, worth a shot. No question about it.
Imagine us saying that about the Buffalo Sabres.
I know. Buffalo's must watch material every night during this run. I mean, they're the number one wild card team now. They're in wild card 1 in the Eastern Conference right now. Tremendous. And it's great. It's great. And you know what? It's great. Whether you love the Sabres or not, let's just admit how nice it is to see the community starting to get into this team and the building starting to fill up again in Buffalo. Like, that crowd was very good Saturday night against Anaheim. It was good before that, earlier last week as well. They're starting to come back now. They're going for their 7th straight win at home, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they've won 6 straight at home coming into tonight, the Buffalo Sabres. So like I said, the crowd's I'll tell you, you give them a good product, they will be back in droves.
Sabres fans deserve every minute of it because they've been
they only tuned out and just stopped going because it's just gotten so fucking terrible and embarrassing over the years.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. It got so bad you just can't go anymore. It's that bad. I mean, why would you pay money to see that, Drek? But now, to see them turning it around, it's good to see. At least for now. I'm always worried with Buffalo that the bottom might fall out. But I don't know. The more I watch, the more I don't know if that's going to happen this time. But long way to go. Long way to go. And a reminder to Tim Earl, we don't need to say Buffalo for the Cup. Slow down. Easy, big fella. Let's just try to get a wild card spot come April. How about that? Can we start with
Earl's
that?
an awesome capper, but man, when he gets onto something, boy, he balls out at it. But good for him, though. Good for him.
No doubt.
I hope he bet it. He bet it.
Yeah. Like I said, something to be happy about for a change. All right, Seattle Kraken, New York Rangers. Rangers minus 135, minus 140. Home favorites, 6 the total. I should be on Seattle here. I should. But the only thing that's holding me back, and you know what it is, a true embarrassment for the New York Rangers Saturday in Boston. 10-2. If there's any pride, if there's any dignity whatsoever, self-respect in this hockey team, they come out balls to the wall for 60 minutes tonight. They should. It's supposed to be their spot to do that. But there's no chance I'm taking the Rangers. There's no chance I'm laying minus 140 with them, even in a spot like this. And I will say this, even though I want to take Seattle's the one team that could fuck this up and lead to a Ranger rout, because I don't trust Seattle fully, quite honestly. I know they've played a little bit better lately, and I know they hung tough with Carolina on the weekend. They lost 3-2 to the Hurricanes. They didn't play that bad, Seattle, in that game against Carolina. Although they did have to rely on their goaltending to kind of hang in there. It was 34-12 shots for Carolina. DeCord gave them a chance in that game. I just don't know if I fully trust Seattle. Rangers have actually had the better of it in this series. They've won 5 of the last 6 meetings between Seattle. I mean, it's supposed to be a step up, your embarrassed spot, show up, show out, and win. That's what it's supposed to be. That's the spot this is supposed to be for the New York Rangers tonight. But I have no interest in laying this kind of a price with them. And Jonathan Quick's not very good right now. I hate to say that, but he's had a really rough go of late for Jonathan Quick. And we know he's going to go to the Hall of Fame and all the great things he's done in his career. But you can't say this has been anything but troubling, the way he's performed since the injury to Igor Shesterkin. I mean, he's given up 6 to Boston, 4 to Buffalo, 3 to Utah. He gave up 5 to Washington before that. He's 0-4 in his last 4 appearances. And you go back further, the losing streak continues for Jonathan Quick. And overall on the season, we're looking at a guy that's 3-8-1. And the numbers as far as goals against and save percentage, they've gotten worse for Jonathan Quick the last month or so. So I know Seattle is the only way I could bet it. I don't know if I trust Seattle enough. I think I might, instead of Seattle money line, I might go team total. It's hard not to bet a Seattle team total over. I will say that because of what we've been seeing lately from Jonathan Quick. But again, it's Seattle and it's 3.5. You don't even have the 2.5. It's 3.5 pretty much at most books with this. Asking Seattle, even against a struggling Jonathan Quick, to score 4 goals on the road is not rushing to do that. I'll tell you that right now. So I don't know. I just feel all over the place with this game, and at the moment, not involved in it. What do you think here, Pearl? Do like a prop, though. Love it. Kakko. It's so New York Rangers
Yeah.
for Kaapo Kakko to go back there to Madison Square Garden, light it up, make an impact. I think he will in some way, shape, or form here tonight. And it is Grubauer, and we got to give Grubauer his props. Grubauer has been not just good, he's been really good the last few times. And I remember even the loss to Minnesota. He was great. That could have been worse for Seattle, that game that they lost to Minnesota at home. So, yeah, it's been great. But like I said, I think for Seattle here against Quick, who's been struggling, we can see Kaapo Kakko find the back of the net up to plus 440, plus 446 even in some spots for Kakko here to find the back of the net for Seattle. I mean, that's definitely something I got to look at. Perlo, what do you think here? Seattle, New York Rangers.
I didn't know you can't get a 2.5 at a decent price. That is, why would that be when they're the when they're the dog?
Oh, you know what? My screen kind of screwed up. They had 3.5. That's better. I think there was a glitch here for a minute. That's better. I see 2.5 minus 140. It's not a little pricey for my liking, but yeah, 2.5 from minus 140 to minus 150. Yeah.
Still pretty pricey for a dog, and the market's kind of telling you something right now. Quick, I think it just. I don't think this 10-2 loss is going to do anything to make the Rangers anything. I have no faith in them whatsoever. I took Seattle last night. Yeah. I'm not putting huge on it because I get it. I get it. If you have any pride at all, that's the question.
Yeah.
Do they? I don't think they do right now. I just don't think they have it. And I do think how are the Kraken winning? Pure pride. Like this team is playing with pure pride. You look at that lineup, they should not be doing what they're doing right now on paper at all. Yeah, but this team is playing with pure pride, and they're playing for each other. And you've got Kakko and Lindgren, who is thrown out of there on Seattle. So I think they're going to play balls out here. I hope the Rangers have some pride here and play, because if not, I think the Kraken are going to win big, to tell you the honest truth. So I'm going to take the Kraken here. The 2.5 at minus 140 is a little too juicy, but I'm just going to take the Kraken, and I'll take the draw. I'll take the draw a little bit. I could see a draw. Yeah, I could see this as an under type game. And Lafreniere, though, I will trust Lafreniere to have 1.5 shots. He's had over 1.5 shots, 9 of the last 10, I believe. And it's minus 130. I think that's a really good price for him to keep on doing that against Seattle Kraken. He's one of the guys that has been playing out there. So I like that. It's probably my favorite bet in this game.
Yeah, I don't mind that. We got the call up there from Hartford, Brennan Othman. Jonathan likes the goal prop on him. Yeah, I mean, to give them a little spark, something. Not that it will, for sure. It is the Rangers, but and it is the Rangers at home, where usually offense goes to die for the time. But maybe he does give them a little bit of a spark here tonight, and he is going to play on the second power play unit for this Rangers team tonight as well, from all indications. So, like I said. And he is a player that they have some high hopes for, to be an NHL regular at some point in his career. I remember he played well for Canada, the World Juniors, a few years ago. So Brennan Othman on the third line here for the New York Rangers. And like I said, it looks like he's going to play second power play unit for the Rangers as well.
JD just said that Lafreniere is on the third line tonight.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah, Lafreniere. We'll see.
Never mind.
He did score against Utah, but again, we're talking about 9 goals.
That one. I don't know why he's in the third.
No, 9 goals in 46 games for him. So clearly not the season. The Rangers got that one bounce back year for him, where he had 57 points 2 years ago and 28 goals. And again, the decline has come back again for Alexis Lafreniere. Frustrating, because I know that obviously this is a first round pick that they spent on him, and just not seeing him take off. All right, next up, other than the 1 year, and it's back down again since. All right, Vancouver and Montreal. We've got Montreal minus 190. Oh, it's on Monday. It's only on Prime. This is your Amazon Prime Monday night hockey game. Montreal minus 190. Home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. So first of all, Thatcher Demko injured again. Shocker. Never saw that coming. But again, another injury for Thatcher Demko. It's just terrible, to see this, because he's actually played okay since he's been back, but he just cannot stay healthy. Another injury against Toronto the other night. They get shut out 5-0 by the Leafs. This team's not scoring again. 1 goal in the last 2 games combined versus the Red Wings and Leafs. We'll see if they can get out of their doldrums offensively tonight versus Montreal, who's also not going to be in a good mood because they got shut out at home by the Detroit Red Wings, 4-0 in that battle for first place in the Atlantic Division. So not what you want to see. We do. Now, last year we talked about this spot. This spot was Money in the Bank last year for us on this show, where we had not one, but both teams in the same game coming off a shutout loss. And that's exactly what we have here. Vancouver off a shutout loss to Toronto, Montreal off a shutout loss to Detroit. In those situations, and they didn't happen often, but when they did last year, 2 teams facing off against one another after being shut out, the first period over and the full game over were great bets. Great bets. Because what do you do when you're off a shutout loss? You look for offense. You try to get your goal scoring going. And maybe that is going to be the case. Now, I know Chris Otto was tracking those stats and those numbers. We called it the super system play last year. System play has not been as reliable this year. Betting first period, full game over for teams off a shutout loss. Off one shutout loss, it hasn't been as reliable this year. Last year it was. And the super system play, which we called it last year, when both teams were off a shutout loss facing one another, it almost cashed automatically every time. First period over, full game over. I haven't looked at what the numbers are this year in this situation where it's 2 teams both off a shutout loss facing one another, but I will get to the over by Fecta tonight in this game between these 2 teams. Not to mention, so it is going to be first period over, full game over, and it's also a series history over with these 2 teams. 8 of the last 10 meetings, Vancouver and Montreal have gone over the total as well. And I can't say I'm enamored with either of the goaltending options tonight. Jakub Dobeš has started to decline a little bit in his recent starts. He'll get the start for Montreal. He hasn't been as good as Jacob Fowler of late for Montreal. So Dobeš in net for the Habs. And Nikita, the Canucks need you so. Nikita Tolopilo, who's going to get the start here for the Vancouver Canucks tonight in this game. They're not going with Lankinen. It will be Tolopilo. I can't say he's been great in the few NHL opportunities he's gotten. He gave up, I think he got 9 goals so far in 4 games for the Vancouver Canucks. We'll see how he fares. Like I said, it's first of a back-to-back for him. Montreal coming off being blanked at home. You would think they come out with some purpose here offensively. So I'm going to roll with the over by Fecta here, Canucks and Montreal. And a little bit on the draw, too. Give me the draw in this game. I think this is draw potential, East versus West. What do you think here in this one, Perlo, Vancouver, Montreal?
I got the over 6 minus 118 last night before I knew what the goaltenders are. Neither one of these teams really are good team defense to begin with. And you got 2 different divisions or different conferences going out against each other. I see no reason for them to go try to battle and shut each other down here. And I don't think Vancouver could do it if they even tried, to tell you the honest truth. So give me my over is my favorite play on this. I got a little bit on the team total over for Montreal. I got that before I call him Tupelo Honey came on. Before he was. I actually am a little more concerned about having a goaltender like this in this spot. He's going to be dialed in. Like, these guys are playing for big NHL money here, and his numbers aren't actually that bad. So I wouldn't go I wouldn't go heavier just because he's in. I don't think the goaltending situation changes much in the over here. I had a 6.5. I'll back it. Over first period. Did you go trifecta?
Just by Fecta. Just by Fecta. I don't mind both teams to score in the first because both teams got blanked last game.
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable to think it's possible we can see a 1-1 opening period. I don't mind that. I might actually dabble in that myself. Both teams to score first period.
Yeah, and I got an exact score 5-2 and exact score 5-3 Montreal. So I like both of those. That Montreal will win like 5-2 or 5-3. I guess somebody in the chat is very confident that Vancouver is going to win today. I don't know what the reasoning for that is, but that'd be interesting. And I'm sure you have very good reason for that.
There he is, Chris Otto, son of a gun. We were just mentioning him. He's always right there when we need him. There it is. First period over has been better than the full game over this year in these shutout spots, off a shutout.
Okay.
Don't have the data with both teams off a shutout. I'll have to no, you don't have to. Please, I don't want to put you in a tough spot or more work for you. But I know last year it was great. I have not looked into it this year, but I know last year the super system play, as we called it, first period, full game overs, games involving both teams off a shutout loss, was very good for them. And this year it looks like both of these teams are perfect to the first period over off a shutout this season. So there you go, Vancouver and Montreal. Each time they've been off a shutout loss, they've gone over first period. Jeff, with his great slap rubber totals app, make sure you give it a look. Yeah, I'd be more concerned if it was like 20%, 30% with the rest profile. 40s is still, I'm not scared by it. And like I said, the series history is strong for the over here with these two. But his app is great. Make sure you check it out. Slap rubber.
Happening over 1.5 shots is going to be a big one for me here. He's been going over that every last 5 games ever since they put him in that spot. He's really been humming out for a goal or whatever as well, but definitely like it over 1.5 shots.
Tessier, is definitely someone we've been targeting over and over again since he's been up on the Caulfield line for the Montreal Canadiens. I like Kapanen as well. He's been good for the Montreal Canadiens of late. For Vancouver, Linus Karlsson, I think it's time for him to get going here. He had a little run going. It's been cold in the last few. Everybody's been cold though for Vancouver, and it looks like Kiefer Sherwood's out for them. They're already without Rossi on the up front for the Canucks, but it looks like Sherwood's out. But Linus Karlsson, I think it's time maybe he steps up for the Vancouver Canucks tonight in this game. All right, New Jersey, Minnesota. Minnesota minus 160, home favorite, 6 the total. I think I already know what Perlo likes because he's talking about fading New Jersey and his favorite coach, Sheldon Keefe, every single time, whenever possible. The problem is the price here. It's minus 160, but you do have Minnesota off of loss to the New York Islanders. And I said this on the recap yesterday. I give the Wild a ton of credit for that point that they got against the New York Islanders because they were better than the Islanders in a brutal spot. Terrible. 7-game road trip, first game home, and you played that well. You took it to the Islanders. You outplayed them. You probably should have won the hockey game if not for Sorokin. In that brutal spot for Minnesota to play well enough to win that game and get a point out of it. I just tipped the cap. That's just a phenomenal job in a brutal scheduling spot by the Minnesota Wild on Saturday night against the New York Islanders. So this is one of these games where obviously I don't want anything to do with New Jersey. I'm going to go with Minnesota team total, though. Right? I mean, I don't want minus 160 with the Wild, but team total with Minnesota, I could see it. That's another thing, too, with the Devils. The losses aren't just because the offense has been putrid, although yesterday they did score 3, but they gave up 4. The defense is eroded. They've given up 17 goals in their last 3 games combined, 4+ in each game. So I will go with Minnesota team total over 3.5. I'll sprinkle on this 5.5 over as well, because I've talked about how Minnesota's been an over machine ever since Quinn Hughes arrived. They've been trending over, and it's only 5.5. And look, New Jersey did finally get a little traction offensively against Winnipeg yesterday, even though they lost 4-3. So I will dabble in the 5.5 over here, Devils Wild as well. Markstrom and Volstead confirmed your starting goaltenders, and still no Joel Eriksson-Ek here for Minnesota. He remains out. And yes, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, a battle of 2 of the Hughes brothers tonight, Quinn for Minnesota, Luke for New Jersey. So do with that what you will, whether it's bet Hughes props in some form with both of them, be my guest. What do you think here, Perlo, New Jersey, Minnesota?
Somebody posted up a really cool stat about scoring drought bet on teams. I've seen that one before. That's great.
Is AM? He's. I see him in the chat when I do the show with Jimmy too. He's got specific systems like that he looks at. He just bets it every time he sees it. I don't know what.
I've heard that. I've heard that system before too, and I would agree with you if it wasn't the Devils. That's simple as that.
There's just some teams, even though the system lines up for them, it's hard to back. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and also there's the Devils not, if they don't score 2 goals, I think their record the next game is absolutely crazy too. Crazy bad as well. And the whole Hamilton situation there, I think there's just a whole lot of drama going on in New Jersey, and something's going to blow there. And until it does, I just think it's really hard for these guys to concentrate. And then you have, like you mentioned over and over again, you have one of the worst coaches in the league trying to put all that together. Terrible. Give me Minnesota Wild -1. And I agree with John JD there. I like that first period puck line probably best here. While New Jersey's terrible on the road, and he even gave us more reason to that. 1-6-2 in the last 9. Yeah, there we go. So give me mini puck line first period is my favorite bet on here. I will take the -1 and a little on the over 3.5. They'll probably get it. Markstrom is in net, or no, it's going to be Allen, right? That's the only thing I don't like about it.
No, it is Markstrom. It is Markstrom tonight.
It's Markstrom
started yesterday.
Give me the team total over
back to
too.
back.
He's just absolutely horrible. Markstrom is a goaltender that's a very emotional guy, and if there's a lot of drama going on in the room and stuff like that, like he wears his emotions on his sleeves, and I think it seriously affects him. So yeah, I'm going to even put more on that. Minnesota team total over 3.5. Not one.
Yeah. I'm also going to bet I have to bet the draw here. I can't turn it down. 6 of the last 9 Minnesota games have gone past regulation. 6 of 9. Oh. I mean, yeah, that's incredibly strong. And I will say this: Devils, fought the good fight. I know they still lost, but it was competitive at least. So I think there's a chance we could see overtime here. By the way, they did go to a shootout once in the 2 meetings last year between them. So that's just too many good recent draw numbers for Minnesota not to bet that for something. Minnesota and New Jersey, the draw here. 6 of the last 9 Wild games have gone past regulation. So that's definitely worth a look here. Let me see. At Pinnacle, you can get plus 330 on that draw. Pretty good price. All right, as far as props here for this game, Devils and Wild, I mean, it's hard to back a ton of Devils props because they've been struggling to score. That being said, Cody Glass almost had a hat trick. Cody Glass repair, Cody Glass replace. Finally someone got going a bit for them. So if you want to ride the hot hand that is maybe Cody Glass coming off a game like that, maybe you do so. For Minnesota, with Eriksson Ek still out, it's not always going to mean he's going to score, but you're going to give me Ryan Hartman now centering Johansson and Boldy. We're going to look at Ryan Hartman a lot as long as Joel Eriksson Ek remains out. So, Ryan Hartman going back to that well once again here for Minnesota. All right, Edmonton, Chicago. Edmonton -160 road favorites, 6.5 the total. I got to assume it's actually going to be a pretty good atmosphere tonight at United Center. Coming off the big Chicago Bears NFL wildcard comeback win against Green Bay. I know Jeff Blashill to the media was talking about that. He expects to hear a few Green Bay sucks chants tonight down at the United Center. So maybe there's a little boost in the attendance tonight for the Blackhawks coming off the Bears' big weekend in the city. Obviously, Bedard's now been back for a couple of games. I give Chicago all the credit in the world for gutting it out against Nashville, right? With all the stomach bug and the flu going through them, the illness, and on a back-to-back after losing to Washington the night before, young Drew Commesso able to step up and deliver a 37-save shutout against the Nashville Predators on Saturday. So a great job by them to gut that thing out at this point in time. So like I said, very, very good stuff to see that as far as it goes. As far as this game goes with Ingram Knight, the goaltenders, by the way, Chicago, it looks like the stomach virus, or at least the worst of it, starting to dissipate and get out of their systems, it looks like, because Spencer Knight will start, so he's back, as is Arvid Soderblom. He's also back, and he'll back up Knight for this game tonight, which means they've sent down Drew Commesso and the Russian netminder that was also called up. So it looks like the worst of this has gone through the team now, and they're starting to get their health back in order. For Edmonton, Connor Ingram in net. The Oilers coming off a 4-3 shootout loss to the LA Kings. I said it before that game. I cashed with the over with LA Edmonton. That's now 5 straight overs for Edmonton. I'm just mechanical betting Edmonton overs right now, and I'm going to do that again tonight. Now I'm 6.5. Sometimes with Chicago that can be a little dicey betting an over 6.5 because you never know offensively if they're going to click. But the bottom line is Ingram and Pickard aren't trustworthy, in my opinion, to completely shut the door. And we have seen Chicago pick up offensively. Even before Bedard came back, this team was starting to score more goals. And now with Bedard back, they should always be a threat offensively. But Edmonton coming off the loss to LA, I could see them maybe finding the back of the net too. I know it's Knight back, and Knight's capable of just delivering a A-plus performance, but coming off, having his system zapped by that flu. He said he was puking his guts out Friday right before the game started. You wonder now, just as he got having the flu takes a lot out of you. Your immune system really does take a hit for a period of time. Is it back to a level now where Knight's just going to be flying, feeling great, ready to play at his top level tonight? In question, and we know Edmonton can be dangerous offensively. And coming off a loss, the habit for Edmonton is scoring goals in these type of spots. So I'll still take over 6.5. I've already won a few in a row with Edmonton. If I lose one tonight, so be it. But I will take it again, over 6.5 in an Edmonton game. What do you think here, Perlo? Oilers, Blackhawks?
I got this at a 6 last night during the show. Somebody asked me when the show. It's on 9:30 Eastern-ish. 9:30 Eastern-ish. We try to get it on 9:30 Eastern-ish. Yeah, go check it out. Rico and Perla's House of Exotic Heine's Picks Frolic. 9:30 p.m. Eastern-ish. Over. I got a 6 back at a 6.5. I'm with you. I'm taking Edmonton games over until I have a reason not to. As far as the side is concerned, you would think that Edmonton's going to be flying here. But have you ever had? I don't know. If you've had a flu, you had a flu this year, and like the first couple days after, you're good after the flu. How I don't know. It's like this energy rush goes through you. I find, anyways, and I think that could very well be happening here with Chicago. I'm not sure if they'll win the game. One of my Capper friends that I usually trust him when it comes to Edmonton because I'm not good with it. He's all over Edmonton today. So I'll give you that. He's all over Edmonton today. But I'm going to go on the over, and I'm going to go with that night over saves if I can find it here. Edmonton is the highest shot volume team in the league, and Chicago's like bottom 5 as far as shots allowed. I'm going to bank that he's good. And he can stop enough to go over whatever it is here. I'll find it while you're going through all the other stuff.
Good stuff indeed. Oh, very good with that. There he goes. AM with the scoring drought system, which is one of his. 47 and 50, but a plus 11.5 units. Very good. Congratulations. Nice. Don't be fooled by the win-loss record. A lot of his system plays are dogs. That's why it's 47 and 50. It's a losing record, but it's plus unit, which is what matters. Plus units is what matters. It's because he takes a lot of dogs. A lot of dogs are in the system. That's why. So well done. Good work. All right. As far as props for this game, Edmonton, Chicago, we've got 4 straight games with a goal for Connor McDavid. Going into this one. Here's one I'm going to go with. He scored the last game. I read a great Ben Pope is great. Not good. Great follow for Chicago stuff. Chicago Blackhawks. Ben Pope does an outstanding job. Follow that guy on Twitter. He had a nice tidbit of information regarding Ryan Green and that the guy has been snake bit offensively for Chicago.
Yeah.
But nobody has generated more 5-on-5 scoring chances for the Chicago Blackhawks since the beginning of December. Other than Tyler Bertuzzi's the only Blackhawk with more 5-on-5 scoring chances than Ryan Green since December the 1st. And finally, Ryan Green saw the puck go in against Nashville on Saturday. So I like Ryan Green here tonight. I like it. The momentum, a little bit of the monkey off the back. You're not gripping the stick nearly as tight when you finally see the puck go in and you are the guy that scored it. So I like that with Ryan Green here tonight for Chicago, plus 475. That's one of my bargain bins. I'll just spill the beans right now. Ryan Green, Chicago, plus 475 tonight for the Blackhawks. I like that angle, right? He's generating. He's getting the chances. He's getting the looks. He finally saw the puck go in and score on Saturday against Nashville. Now see if he gets on a roll and see if the dam bursts and the floodgates start to open and some of these chances start to go in, hopefully, for Ryan Green. So I like that there for the Chicago Blackhawks tonight in this game. It's also worth noting it looks like he's going to be with Bedard and Burakovsky, so ample opportunity, to find the back of the net playing on that top line as well. Nick Lardis is always worth a look because he just plays hard every night for Chicago. For Edmonton, I'm going to go back to the well with Podkolzin and Kapanen, the 2 guys with Draisaitl right now. I always say that. The two guys with Leon Draisaitl are always going to have a chance to score. And right now, that's Podkolzin and Kapanen. I think Kapanen's still trying to work his way back from that long absence, but we know when he gets going, he can produce. He can make an impact for Edmonton offensively. Looks like they've dropped Perlo's favorite, Roslovic, down to the third line with Savoy. And Mangiapane's actually going to play. Wow. I'd forgotten he played for the Edmonton Oilers. He'd been sat out lately, healthy scratch, but it looks like he's in tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. Probably just trying to get some fucking trade value for him.
Yeah. It's got to play to trade him.
Yeah.
But I don't understand that line. Really, why I'm not on Edmonton is that bottom six is just absolutely brutal, especially when Roslovic down there. That's why I like the over even more. Anybody that's matching up against that line, they won't even be in the defensive zone. They don't have a clue what they're doing. So, yeah, I'm going to look at that for a bargain bin. I was trying to figure that out.
There you go. Evan Bouchard says, Jonathan, plus 410 for him to get a goal. 2 goals in 3 games against Spencer Knight. So there's something to keep in mind. All right, one of the games of the night for sure, Toronto. They're red hot, but boy, they take on the unbeatable, Colorado Avalanche, especially when it comes to playing them in Denver at Ball Arena. Colorado minus 240, home favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. Very interesting decision by Jared Bednar. We know Mackenzie Blackwood's on IR, so he's been unavailable for a while. Scott Wedgwood is healthy. He's, and this is not a back-to-back. But Trent Miner, who did get the start for for Colorado on Saturday against Columbus and got the shutout against the Blue Jackets 4-0, a 29-save shutout for Trent Miner in that game after being called up from the Colorado AHL affiliate. And he's going to start again here tonight for the Colorado Avalanche in this game. A second straight start and a reward from Jared Bednar, and maybe an element of riding the hot hand for this guy coming off a shutout against Columbus in the last game. So very interesting decision that we'll see him, not Scott Wedgwood, especially because Scott Wedgwood is a Toronto area kid. You'd think, boy, if he plays Toronto, he's going to be really wanting to play well and put up a brick wall. Not saying it's a bad decision, just a surprising one, and he did play well, Trent Miner, against Columbus. This might be a little tougher, though, because Toronto obviously comes in with momentum. This is a big test, though, for the Leafs, as well as they've been playing, especially defensively, and a great 7-2 run in their last 9 games. We'll see if they're able to get the job done here. The problem is, other than Philly and maybe, I can't even say, there's a lot of these wins are against some of the lesser, like Pittsburgh when they were struggling. Ottawa's had issues. New Jersey's been bad. Winnipeg's been bad. Florida's the one good win. They did play great against Florida. There's no question about that. That was the best win of the bunch that Toronto has had of late. And they're definitely playing great defense. Though, what gives Toronto a puncher's chance? They're playing with great confidence right now, great defensively, whether it's Wool, whether it's Hildeby. They've gotten good goaltending lately. Their penalty kill is amazing right now. They've moved all the way up to, I believe, number 1 in the league in penalty killing, or close to it, number 2. That is how good the Leaf penalty kill has been. The Vancouver game where they won 5-0, they were in the box 4 times in that first period. That could have been a completely different game if their penalty kill doesn't come through for them, but it did. Their penalty kill has been amazing, Toronto, during this stretch of games. We'll see if that continues. They have given up 1 power play goal in their last 10 games. That's incredible. 1 power play goal in the last 10 games. If you're going to have a recipe to try to beat Colorado, especially here at Ball Arena, you've got to have a good penalty kill against this team. And Toronto right now has that. I'm not totally buying into Miner playing great again. I got to see it before I believe it. I'm on Toronto plus 1.5. I don't know about the upset, but I have a feeling they might push Colorado here a little bit. And let's not forget this Avs team. They're still a little bit banged up right now. There's no Devon Taves still. There's no Gabe Landeskog still. And when you look at what they've done without those 2 guys, they had the losses to Tampa and Florida. They did beat Carolina, but, they beat St. Louis. They beat Ottawa in a horrible spot, and an Ottawa team struggling right now, and then Columbus, who are struggling right now. So you could argue this is one of Colorado's tougher opponents at home lately as well, even though this is probably one of Toronto's toughest, tests going to Colorado, dealing with this Avalanche team. I don't know if I fully have the guts to take Toronto money line. God, I'm tempted, but the +1.5 is appealing to me here in this game because you can get that at a good price and not have to lay a big price with it. It's -120 for Toronto, +1.5 here in this game. I think it's a close game. I think they're competitive here with the Avs. Whether they win it, that's another story, but I think they're competitive tonight with the mighty Avs. What do you think here, Perlo? Toronto, Colorado.
I hope it's 4-3. Either way, because I got the over in this game. I can't see a shutdown game here. Toronto eventually is going to open it up, and that defense is going to struggle against this Colorado offense. It's just going to happen. So they're going to have to play hard. They're going to have to roll with Colorado offensively eventually. Either that or Colorado's just going to shut them down. And I just don't see that either. I see pace in this game. So give me the over first period, and I got this again 6. It's gone up to a 6.5 now. You would have figured it would get there. I guess when Minor was, and this Minor, by the way, is not a bad goaltender. He's pretty good, pretty darn good. So I'm not doing it because Minor's in net. I'm doing it because of the type of game I think this is going to be. I think Colorado should have no problems thinking that they can outscore Toronto if they have to. So eventually this is going to open up. When it'll open up,
I think it's going to start slow. I will bet a live 5.5 if I get it, but I have a feeling this could be a little bit of a cagey start. But I just got that feel. And I think Toronto, Colorado, recent meetings in Colorado have kind of been the same way, where it started a little bit slow and then it's kind of opened up. And I want to point out, too, Toronto's won 3 of the last 5 visits to Denver, believe it or not. They've won here recently, 3 of the last 5 times in this building. I think they're in the game. I do.
I think Colorado's going to have to take everything here. Like they better be coming correct for sure. If they're coming in soft, then they could be in trouble. No doubt about that. And is there anything else I had on this game? No, McKinnon over 4.5 shots. I think McKinnon will be shooting the moon. Matthews, you can go. I think Dre last night, said he was going to bet Matthews over 3 and McKinnon over 3, and you parlay it together and you got plus money. I like that too. It's a nice way to go about it.
Yeah, no doubt. This is a very intriguing game. Very, very, very fascinating game. Looking forward to it in the late night hours. This game, obviously Florida, Buffalo early. I'm into that. Tampa, Philly, how does Philly respond? I'm into that. There's some good games here tonight that just never mind the betting for a minute, just from a viewing standpoint, very much interested in how it goes for him. Yeah, Minor, like I said, can he deliver it again? That's going to be the question. That was a solid shutout effort from him against. And by the way, it is Joe Woll for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not really much of a surprise there. That is true. I had forgotten about that, but Jonathan's reminding me of the long-term dominance for the over. The long-term dominance for the over between these two teams in Denver. 13 of the last 14 in Colorado have gone over. And the one that didn't had 6. Well, that's why I'm going to wait for 5.5. All the more reason. Like that means it's 14 out of 14 in Colorado between the Leafs and the Avs. The last 14 meetings in Denver, all 14 have gone over 5.5. So all the more reason why I'm going to wait for that 5.5 to show up. And I think it will at some point here. Anything you wanted to add, Perlo, or no?
Well, I'm looking for it because one thing I'm really going to like, but I haven't found it anywhere yet, is Wall over saves. I am going to like that a lot here. It's just I haven't found it yet. But if you can find it, you can tell me what the number is. I like that. Avalanche are going to be shooting like crazy. I think there's going to be a lot of shots in this game.
I do. I do agree with that. I think Wall will be busy. Will he be able to keep his team in the game is the question. I think there's a chance he can, but I think he will face some shots. That is for sure.
28.5. It's rich. 28.5 I got. But you know what? I'm taking it. I'm taking it. If this is going to be tight, Colorado's going to be shooting. I'm going to take it.
So Nick Robertson, Max Domi. Yeah. Nick Robertson, Max Domi, or I'm interested in for goal props for Toronto. Michelli's playing good hockey. Craig Berube couldn't get this guy in the lineup. He was so disappointed with what Michelli was doing. Now he's singing his praises, and it's true. Michelli's played a lot better lately, and he scored in the last game. So maybe a Matthias Michelli look for Toronto. For Colorado, yeah, Brock Nelson. We've talked about it. He's been absolutely outstanding for the Avs. You can never go wrong looking in his direction for props. You could also Lehkonen. I think Lehkonen's got a little bit of a history here against Toronto of having some success, and maybe I'd go to Victor Olofsson too on that third line, getting the opportunity too for the Avs, and I think he started to pick things up a little bit. Olofsson, yeah, he's got goals in 2 of the last 5 games for the Colorado Avalanche. All right, last game for this. Wow, is that so? It hasn't started slow. Geez, last 4 last 4 games in Colorado. The first periods have had 5, 3, 3, and 4 goals. Holy shit! So hopefully it doesn't backfire. This plan of mine to wait for the 5.5. Hopefully we get at least a couple minutes scoreless that we need for the 5.5s to show in game there. All right, Dallas and LA. Dallas -120 road favorites. 5.5 the total. Here in this game. Oh, Valerie Nichushkin, right? 4 goals in the last 2 versus Toronto. Call on me, Valerie. Valerie Nichushkin, 4 goals in the last 2 games for Toronto, or for Colorado against Toronto. All right, Dallas, LA, last game. Stars -120 road favorites, 5.5 the total. I like Stars multiple ways here. First period, first goal. First period money line, full game money line. I think they answer the bell. That can't be sitting well with anybody in a Dallas Stars jersey. Up 4-2 against San Jose. You lose that game 5-4 on Saturday. It's time for a response here in this game. Kings are in a tough spot. 3rd road game in 4 nights. They played in Winnipeg, lost 5-1. Gutted it out with Forsberg starting against Edmonton. Won in a shootout 4-3. Now they're back home where they perennially suck this year for the most part. Well, apparently against everyone except Minnesota, because Minnesota is the one team that they were able to beat back-to-back at home in the Crypto Barn this year. But other than that, this is still a team with a dreadful 7-14 home record this year. Dallas looking to bounce back and respond. And I like them multiple ways, spread out. First goal, first period money line, full game money line here, Dallas. And I will take over 5.5 just because this Kings over streak continues with 8 straight Kings games have gone over the total, over 5.5. Pretty crazy that it's been this kind of run now for the Kings as far as overs, because we don't think of the Kings as an over team. Darcy Kemper, Jake Ottinger confirmed in net. It looks like Corey Perry's back for the Kings tonight, but Armia, Kopitar, and Moore are still out for them. Jamie Benn day-to-day for the Dallas Stars, but he will play. There you go. Good news. The captain is back for Dallas. Jamie Benn goal prop. Watch him score tonight. And usually in these spots where Dallas is not happy about the way they played last game, I could see Dallas still. I could see him maybe finding the back of the net. So I think it's a good star spot. We'll see if they deliver. Perlo, what do you think here? Last game, Dallas, Los Angeles.
You kind of helped me on this one. I I only had the draw, but I just needed someone to talk in my ear to fade LA, and you did. So I'm going to do that. It doesn't take much to fade LA. I'm going to take Dallas here too. I'm going to take a -1 money line, and I got one for sure here that I really like. I was going to take it anyways. LA is a terrible second period home team. Dallas is an awesome road team in the second period. So I'm going to take Stars second period puck line at +150, +150.
All right, good stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Corey Perry played against Edmonton, of course, the other night. This is the second game back for him. But, yeah, and scored against the should have known he would back in Edmonton that Corey Perry would score in that. And I didn't bet the goal prop. Silly me. All right, as far as props go for this game, Dallas and L.A., silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. Every time I say that, I think of the Tricks commercial growing up. Jason Robertson, yeah, homecoming, California kid. Yeah, no argument. And obviously he's had a great season for the Dallas Stars. Laferriere scored last game, and as I continue to talk about with Laferriere, he's getting the opportunity now with Kempe. And Jeff Malott still up on that line. Perry maybe Perry's with Fogle and Byfield. Like he's getting more minutes now because of the absences of Armia, Kopitar, and Moore. So, like I said, there's opportunity opening up here for Corey Perry. We know Corey Perry can sometimes take advantage of those opportunities. The biggest concern I guess I have about, certainly would help the over if he struggles again tonight, but the biggest concern I have about Dallas right now is, you're right, Jake Ottinger hasn't been in his best form lately. There's no denying that whatsoever. He didn't have a good game against Washington last week. He's had some, subpar performances by his standards for the Stars of late, but he's had a little bit of time to cool off now and regather himself a little bit, because don't forget Glenn Gulletson. It's worth noting this. Glenn Gulletson here for the Dallas Stars. He hasn't. He got pulled against Washington. DeSmith finished that game, and then DeSmith started the game against San Jose on the weekend. So it's been an extended time for Jake Ottinger to gather himself and see if he can bounce back and get his game back on track here tonight. We'll see if he can do that. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat at the like button. We appreciate it very much. And a reminder, check out wizardsportspicks.com. Like I said, it's been a great run on the website the last 30 days on all sports. It's been a terrific last 30 days. We had a profitable winning wildcard weekend, 2-1 on the website in wildcard weekend. We have one more wildcard best bet tonight for Houston, Pittsburgh on the website. Make sure you check that out, wizardsportspicks.com. It's just been a phenomenal NFL season, 72 and 41, 62%, over 20 units of profit in the NFL this season on the website. Currently profitable seasons in NFL, NHL, NBA, and college basketball. So make sure you check all that out. Not only daily premium picks, but long-term subscription passes, 3-day, 30-day, 3-day, 7-day, 3-day, 30-day, and 1 year all sports subscriptions available. So check it out, wizardsportspicks.com. And of course, the Beyond the Lines video series. And I do that Thursday or Friday and Sunday. So make sure you check that out at wizardsportspicks.com. And of course, patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, daily betting card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. So make sure you check it out. We have selected our 2 Patreon exclusive live betcast dates for the month of January. We will mention those the day of the betcast. We'd like to surprise our Patreon members and announce them the day of the betcast, but they will be later in the month. But they are on the way. We have picked 2 betcast dates for the Patreon members exclusively that will be coming up later in January. And of course, we've got the free-for-all open to everybody live betcast next Tuesday, January 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But again, get on board, patreon.com/iceguys for all the bonus content. Your membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. So check it out, patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. And check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Get some gear and some merch, tons of great items available at the Ice Guys store over at iceguys.myspreadshop.com. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Please for yourself with my mouth is no one. where the kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check them out, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code IceGuys on this Solid Fire Monday. All right, bargain bin special of the night. Big slate for a Monday to choose from. Perlo, bargain bin special of the night. What do you got?
I'm going to go with 2, and I'm going to go with the Mighty Quinn, plus 500 there. He's been shooting like a son of a gun. He finally got 2 in. I think he'll keep rolling against Florida here, and he'll pot 1. Plus 500 for a guy shooting like that, I'll take it. And the Montreal game, I'm going to go with Tessier. Tessier's got 3 of the last 4. You get it up. Plus 3, what the heck was that again? Plus 320, something like that. So, yeah, that'll be my 2 for today.
There we go. And Matt Duchene with 5 goals against Darcy Kemper. And, of course, he's facing Kemper with Dallas tonight. So, something to keep in mind there. As far as goal props for me, I already mentioned one of them. I'm going to go back to Logan Stankoven. I'd be pissed if 2 nights in a row I didn't take him and ride this wave that he's on, and he scored again. But he scored in 4 straight games for the Carolina Hurricanes. And Logan Stankoven is plus 375 to find the back of the net tonight. So we're going back to the well. He's looking for his 5th straight game with a goal. Logan Stankoven for the Carolina Hurricanes, plus 375 for my first of 2 bargain bin specials. And the second one that I mentioned for the bargain bin special of the night, God, I'm blanking on it. Oh, yeah, Ryan Green, right. Ryan Green, Chicago. I like this. You know, he finally scored. He's had as many scoring chances as anybody on the Blackhawks team. Couldn't buy a goal. Finally got one the other night. We'll see if he can make it 2 games in a row with a goal for Chicago tonight. Playing with Connor Bedard on the top line. Ryan Green, Chicago, plus 475. So there you have it for my 2 bargain bin specials of the night. All right, best bets. Perlo, what do you think here? What do you like here for best bet?
First of all, so I can remember, you can mentioned it earlier on the show. Come check me out at 9:30 Eastern time with Dre Martinez or Exotic Wagers and Rico, of course. Sometimes JD too. He's been coming on too. That's been fun. We have a lot of fun on there. It's Rico and Perlo's House of Exotic Jaime's Picks, NHL Picks Frolic, and it is not for children at all. Not at all. It is a very adult-ish type content, but we have a lot of laughs and we hit a lot.
Children are supposed to be sleeping
my
at
2
that time
for
of night,
today.
so don't feel bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's okay. But my 2 for today, I like to give a prop and a regular play. I'm going to take the Montreal Vancouver Canucks over 6. If you get 6.5, I got it at 6 for my first one. And I'm going to take one of my bargain bins to get over 1.5 shots. Since I think he's going to get a goal, Quinn to get over 1.5 shots at minus 130.
Good stuff indeed there. My best bet for this slate. Let's go to that late night game. Bounce back spot for the Dallas Stars. Catching LA off the little 2-game road swing through Western Canada, Winnipeg and Edmonton. I think they get the job done here. Give me cheap price, Dallas minus 115 against the Los Angeles Kings. The totals have been the much better proposition for me with best bets. The sides have been a little more hit or miss with best bets, but I like this one, and I think it's going to cash. Dallas minus 115 against Los Angeles for my best bet. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. And like Vancouver, Montreal would have been my over best bet or my totals best bet, but no, Dallas will be the best bet tonight. Good stuff. All right. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Perlo, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back tomorrow on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Ice Guys.